Welcome to CNT News, the headlines. The federal government extends money laundering to casinos, bans shell accounts. EFCC arrests Accountant General of the Federation over 80 billion naira fraud. And on the foreign scene, Turkey threatens to block Sweden and Finland from joining NATO. And in sports, Arteta reveals who to blame for Arsenal 2-0 loss to Newcastle. And now the news in details. I am Kasmer Ozuwo. The federal government have introduced stricter regulations in the operation of casinos in Nigeria as part of its fresh move against money laundering. This is just a new law recently passed by the National Assembly, which prohibits ownership and operation of shell accounts in the country. President Muhammadu Buhari had on Thursday last week assented to the Money Laundering Prevention and Prohibition Bill 2022, the Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Bill 2022, and the Proceeds of Crime Recovery and Management Bill 2022. The Money Laundering Prevention and Prohibition Act established a special control unit against money laundering under the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, which is to monitor financial transactions within and outside Nigeria. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) has arrested the Accountant General of the Federation Ahmed Idris over an 80 billion naira fraud. EFCC spokesman Wilson Owajeren confirmed his arrest. He said Idris was arrested after failing to honor the invitations to respond to the issues connected to the fraudulent act. The Commission's proven intelligence shows that the AGF gathered the funds through bogus consultancies and illegal activities using proxies, family members and close associates. According to EFCC, the funds were laundered through real estate investment in Kano and Abuja. Meanwhile, the embattled and suspended acting chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, Ibrahim Magu, has been promoted to the rank of Assistant Inspector General of Police. The Police Service Commission spokesperson Ikechukwu Ani announced Magu's elevation on Monday. According to Ani, Magu was promoted alongside some senior officers at the 15th plenary meeting of the Commission. And on the foreign scene, Turkey's president has restated his opposition to Finland and Sweden joining NATO just hours after they declared they would seek membership. Recep Tayyip Erdogan said the two Scandinavian nations does not need to send delegations to convince Turkey, a key NATO member, of their bids. Earlier, Sweden said Europe was living in a dangerous new reality, referring to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Sweden has formally announced its decision to join NATO, a move that will end the Scandinavian country's centuries-long military non-alignment. Russian President Vladimir Putin said the move by Finland and Sweden to join the 30-member military alliance did not threaten Moscow directly, but stressed that any expansion of military infrastructure would trigger a response from the Kremlin. Ukraine has confirmed that hundreds of its fighters trapped for more than 2 months in Mariupol Azovstal steelworks have been evacuated. Deputy Defense Minister Anna Maler said 53 badly wounded soldiers were taken to the town of Novozovsk, held by Russian-backed rebels. She said another 211 were evacuated using a humanitarian corridor to Olenivka, another rebel-held town. Russia earlier said a deal had been reached to evacuate the injured troops. About a dozen buses carrying Ukrainian fighters who were holed up beneath the besieged plant were seen leaving the huge industrial site in the southern port on Monday evening. Russia state-run media outlets also posted footage of what they say were injured Ukrainian soldiers being evacuated from Azovstal. And in sports, Arteta said he can no longer defend his players after they put Tottenham in the driving seat to qualify for the Champions League plays. Arteta slammed his team for not being able to match Newcastle in every area in the pitch, saying they looked well short of a Champions League team.
We'll always defend them, but tonight that's really difficult thing to do. We need to win and we need a defeat from them, and we know that in football that's always possible, and if anything happens, you have to be there in order to do that. For today, you have to put your head down, swallow all the poison that we all feel, hopefully, and tomorrow is time.
The loss at St. James Park means that Mikel Arteta's side are now 2 points behind Antonio Conte's side with 1 game remaining. The Gunners will host Everton on the final day and will be hoping Tottenham lose against relegated Norwich City. And that's the size of the package on CNT News today. Remember, the best time to plant a tree was yesterday, and the second best time is now. Many thanks for watching. I am Kasmer Ozurimo.